everybody. This is Talk Like a Lady, a podcast where we find out all about our favorite ladies. I'm Carly Morton.
And I'm Jessica Fontana.
And today we're talking to Christina Hurtado. Hello.
Hello, friends.
So, I guess we should get to your homework.
It's the fun part.
Yeah, this is the fun part.
Okay.
So, what are we drinking?
So I was telling the two of you that when the shutdown first happened, Lifted Spirits, which is my favorite little distillery, started doing little Lifted Spirits cocktail kits. And one of my favorite was the Vodka Collins. And so that's what we're drinking today. Drinking local.
Yay.
Lifted Spirits. So it's just a nice little refreshing drink.
It really is. Like I was telling you, I'd never had it, but that's tasty. It's kind of a little bit sour, a little bit on the sour side, but not. It's really good. It's like alcoholic Sprite.
Yes. I'm glad you like it.
Yeah, it's really good. I like it a lot.
Yes, it's delicious.
Who is your badass lady that you want to tell us about?
You know, this one was really, really hard because I've been very lucky, I think, to have women who have mentored me. Which is not always the case, right? Because I feel like societally, as women, we're told we're competition with each other. And so I would say one of my people is Dr. Stephanie Bannister, who worked at Kansas State University. And so prior to transitioning to the corporate world, I did 20 years in housing, university housing. And so I met her in 2011 when I started working at Kansas State University. And I was in charge of or oversaw leadership and diversity development for the housing and dining staff, for the full-time graduate and student staff. And I think she's so incredibly, just so smart, like emotionally intelligent, knows about world issues, cares about world issues, is tied to her faith, very tied to her family, and uses her privilege in a way to advocate for others and to help others, whether it's in terms of socioeconomic status, all sorts of things, poverty, everything, and to educate others. But the way she educates others is always in a kind way. And I don't always have that ability to interact with people. Because if somebody says something to me that I don't like, I'll just say it in a very, maybe not a way that could deter a relationship from building, right? Because I'm not that she's not direct. I'm just a little bit stronger in the way that I'm direct. And she has the ability to navigate relationships in a way that I hadn't seen before, and also separate the person sometimes from the behavior, and be able to see, like, maybe she didn't like something that somebody did, but always to be able to see the good and the value and still work to develop that person or invest in that person. And so I think I've learned a lot from her. And I also, when I was leaving my last place of employment that ended my housing career, she had come to do kind of an overview of our program, see what was going on, get some feedback. And she affirmed for me, and I didn't necessarily want what I thought I saw happening to be affirmed. But sometimes when you're in a situation that is toxic, you say to yourself, I'm crazy. What I'm thinking is not right. And she just affirmed that what I was thinking was correct. And I invited her there. I said, I'm going to invite you to be, to assess our department, because I know that either way, even if I don't want to hear it, you're going to call me on my bullshit. and you're going to tell me what I need to hear to be able to move this department forward. And she did. But she said, but all the things that you assessed were correct. And she's like, and you're not being appreciated. Your staff is not being appreciated. You're not being, valued. And I was exhausted all the time. I was angry all the time. I was sad all the time. And so after she did that assessment, I'd been thinking about quitting, and I just quit my job with no plan. I'd never done that before. I gave 2 weeks notice to be professional, but I've never left a place of employment without giving at least a month to a month and a half in advance over my 20-year career. But she helped me, I think, have confidence in my ability to do that and land on my feet. And that was scary because I was leaving a field that I had been in it for 20 years.
Yeah.
And that's how I met you two, because I came to Kansas City. I didn't know anybody. And I said, I'm going to the My Favorite Murder live show, even though I know nobody. And that's how I met you two. Got to sit next to you two lovely.
I know.
My
gosh. That was so, it's like sometimes when we're talking to people and they're like, oh yeah, how do you know each other? It's like, I don't know. I ran into her at a show.
Yeah.
What's funny though is anytime Georgia and Karen talk about people that will write to them, or if they meet them, they're like, I met so-and-so and I went by myself and all this stuff. And I always think of you because we just happened to randomly get to sit by you. And then we just started talking and, so it's just funny that the way things happen like that. But no, she sounds like a really good person to have on your side.
Yeah. And I think, because she's so incredibly introspective, reflective, it makes me want to be more reflective of who I am, who I want to continue to develop into, who I don't want to develop into, and my impact on others. And I think that's important to think about.
Yeah. And I wish I'm with you. There are times, because even if I don't say anything to somebody, usually my face will say it.
Yeah.
I'm not very, and I also struggle. And I think part of it is just the world we live in right now. I really, I'm with you. I struggle to separate the action from the person. And sometimes I wish I could, because I do think that would, I don't know, possibly open things up, where maybe the world could get better. Mm-hmm. If we could all separate even maybe what we say versus who we are, so yeah, that's a hard thing to do. I admire when people can be that way.
Yeah. I'm immediately defensive. Like, okay, well, fuck you. Like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, fuck
I don't
you.
want to hear what you have to say. Goodbye.
Fuck you, fuck your mom, fuck everything. Goodbye.
Yeah.
It is hard though. And like I said, in the world we live in today, it's like, I feel like anyone who's really paying attention, it's very easy to get defensive or angry very quickly. Yes. I feel like we're almost like always at an 8.
Yeah.
And it's just, but it would be, I do think it would be nice if maybe I was at a 2. So, and then I wouldn't, I don't know.
I mean, maybe. I'm sure it's nice, but it's great.
I guess I probably will never know, to be honest.
Right. Honestly.
Correct.
I'm not going to know.
Yeah.
And what was her name again?
Dr. Stephanie Bannister.
That's what I thought. I just want to make sure I was right. That's awesome. I like you, Dr. Stephanie Bannister.
I know.
She's
she
great.
Sounds amazing and calm.
Yeah.
Says me, the hate monster.
That's the thing though. It's that, again, that's kind of that thing, when I'm always at an 8, having a calming influence would probably be a good thing.
Yeah.
Right.
And something if I'm overreacting, she's just like, "Ooh, I think you need to like, here's what you could consider here, you know." I'm like, okay, I don't want to reconsider things. But even though I know I should, and so I really appreciate that about her, is that she's not afraid to say, listen, I think you could scale it back, or I think you need to see the perspective of somebody else.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, I like her. And so what organization did you choose?
This is a hard one because I like to volunteer, and I volunteered with a few different organizations, children's organizations, rescue, and what else have I done? Just, odds and ends, like just volunteering. And actually this past week, my friends and I were at the Veterans Community Project in Kansas City, Missouri.
Is that the tiny houses?
Yeah. And I volunteered there twice, and that was really great. And they do amazing work. But I think right now, as I think about what is going on in the world, probably CASA, Court Appointed Special Advocate, is probably something that I think about a lot. I was able to be a CASA when I lived in Manhattan, Kansas, and it's essentially where there are children in the court system for various reasons. They've been taken away from their parents, or they're having, supervised visits, or something happened at school. And for some reason, not only do they have a social worker assigned to them, but they have a person who volunteers to just go in and do home visits and speak with the kids and speak with the families, interact with them, and just to get a different sense of what is happening. And I really feel like that had an impact on me because I don't have children. And I can't imagine what they think when there are all these strangers in their lives, that they really have no full understanding of why those strangers are in their lives. If, I was dealing with people who are on drugs and all of that kind of stuff. And so, especially now with COVID, and children aren't necessarily in the school system, visible in front of teachers or visible in front of adults. And we don't see what happens. We don't ever always know what happens behind closed doors for anyone.
Right.
Even if, as I was going to visit, but when I think about kids not feeling like they don't have a safe space, like school might have been their only safe space to go to, and the only place that they got a good meal, and the only time that they felt heard or listened to, that I'm gonna get sad. That makes me sad,
No, it is.
So I think that's why it's that particular organization and volunteers in that organization, or in organizations like that, are so important right now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. This is what we do.
Apologize. We cry on this podcast.
Okay. Yeah.
A lot. Okay, I cry a lot.
I mean, you're a good human. You're right. It's so important. And I wouldn't say more important, but like you said, there is not visibility right now. Right. We are not seeing, but I mean, I think that's a struggle with any kind of neglect or abuse across the board, whether it's adults or children. Like, we're just not able to see it like a lot of people could. Even, adults who aren't going to work or working from home. I mean, or lost their job or whatever. We're not seeing them. They're not. So it's scary. And that, not being able to leave. You're right. That's very important. I'm glad that's really an important organization. Thank you for bringing that one to us.
I'm going to guess it's .org.
Yes.
Is there a specific Kansas City website, do you know? Or is it just like an overall?
There's CASA and then each different area. So like in the Manhattan, Riley County area, it was CASA Sunflower.
Okay.
So they're broken down into their own groups within their various areas.
Great. Well, we will just figure it out.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome though. I like that.
Me too.
So tell us about growing up. Where did you grow up? Like kind of what was your childhood like?
Yeah. So my dad was in the military and he grew up in Kansas City. And then when he was 24, he was stationed in Taiwan, Air Force Base there. And that's where he met my mom. And they were married within 6 months. They were married for about a year and they had my brother, so they were in Taiwan. They moved back to the US. We kind of lived not in a ton of places. But when I was born in South Dakota, my brother's older, 4 years older. I'm the middle kid. And then my sister is 4 years younger. And so, I was born in South Dakota. We lived in Portugal and my sister was born there. We lived in Virginia. And then we spent about 6 years in Okinawa. And then we moved back to Kansas City in 91. And then I had actually, after I graduated from college, though, had not lived in Kansas City for 20 years. So I'm learning everything new about Kansas City within the last year that I've been here. It's all new to me. So yeah, I mean, growing up, so we moved quite a bit. I mean, going to school, normal, nothing big, nothing
So
like.
once you were in school, did you move a lot like while you were in school, or had you guys kind of settled?
I was always really lucky. So we ended up staying in Okinawa for 6 years, which is not typical for a military family. My dad said at the time they had asked families to volunteer to stay, and we really loved it there. It was great, and beautiful. And then my mom's family was in Taiwan, so it was like an hour flight for her to get to her family.
Yeah.
Not really a close family. Growing up, I was talking with that to my friend about that the other day. My mom was she was abused as a child, physically abused, and I was physically and verbally abused by her. And I've since reconciled that. I think, I've worked through that, but I think, always a theater kid, always a musical theater kid, always really into forensics, kind of a nerd, like that kind of stuff. But I always remember my report cards when I was a kid saying, Christina's a great kid, but she's too chatty, which is not a surprise to anybody. Cause all my friends say, do you even know a stranger? And I really don't.
No.
Yeah. So,
Right.
And so, I think part of that was that military upbringing, is that you're meeting so many new people all the time as you're moving, or people are moving on and off the base, and you're just interacting with a lot of different people. And I think in that situation, you either sink or swim. And so that's why I think that kind of shaped me to be in a career working with college students, because I really just enjoyed meeting new people and interacting with them. So yeah, and then I went to college in Winfield, Kansas, small town outside of Wichita.
Wow. That's a tiny place.
Have you been?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know someone that lives there.
Yeah.
Isn't there like a music festival there or something every year?
Yes. Yep. The Bluegrass Festival is there. It's huge. It's huge, that festival. But yeah, and so I did musical theater and I studied biology, and then I just didn't want to do anything with biology. And so I was an RA and I was a tour guide while I was at school. So I ended up doing 1 year in admissions and then doing housing. So part of that housing gig was living on campus with the students, living in an apartment on campus, being available for emergencies, and insane things. Like, I think I look back and I think, how did I ever do that? And how do people ever do that now? Especially as times have progressed, you just deal with a lot more things. I mean, the hall directors now deal with a ton more than I ever dealt with, especially when it comes to mental health, alcohol and drug abuse, and that kind of stuff. But yeah, and just try to say this without being terrible, but sometimes that entitlement, it looks different depending on who the student is and what privileges they've had growing up and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I never saw myself getting out of that, but I am glad that I'm out of it, especially now. My friends are all like, bet you're glad you got out just in time before all the Corona stuff happened. So I think it was very lucky.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Very lucky.
Where does your family live now?
Yeah. So, they're all in Kansas City. My mom passed away. It'll be 7 years in January. And then my dad is still in Turner, where came back, and my sister, everybody's in Kansas City, either like Lee Summit. A lot of my cousins are in Kansas City, Missouri, and Kansas City, Kansas. My sister lives out in Shawnee. So all in the area, which is great.
Yeah, that's nice.
Not that I get to see everybody all the time now.
Right.
Yeah.
You're not allowed.
Yeah, right.
Gotta
Fingers
zoom it.
Right.
Right. So,
are you?
Oh no, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Carly.
No.
I was just gonna say, are you guys like somebody go? Are you guys like not doing any kind of Thanksgiving thing? Are you guys? Because I know some people are doing normal ones, but I know some people are doing smaller ones. But I just didn't know. Are you guys gonna do anything like that?
Well, so we had already made the determination that my brother's married and my sister's married and has kids, and then it's me and my dad. And so we had already made the determination that it's probably just going to be me and my dad. Now, even though I work from home, I'm probably out the most in terms of I'm at the gym every day, and I'm with people, the same group of people every day at the gym. And so my sister works from home mostly, and then she's teaching the kids. My brother and my sister, our sister-in-law, work from home. So we actually were going to initially get together, and then my dad's brother-in-law passed. He was older, and we were supposed to have his funeral on Monday. And then I said, Dad, how are we going to have his funeral when all these ordinances just came down, and it was supposed to be hosted in Kansas City, Missouri? Well, turns out multiple people in the family were in contact with them, and we have some COVID cases in the family. So it was actually good that we canceled, and nobody's really sick, which I'm very thankful for,
right?
Because it impacts everyone differently. But so we decided that we are going to wait and decide if my dad and I will get together, and if not, I'll probably walk the dogs, go to the dog park, have a pizza or something, because I don't really cook that much, and then just relax a little bit. Yeah. And it's, it's not ideal for anybody, but it's better than being sick.
Yeah. Yeah. And, the idea of, even if, because I know places across the country are actually doing like more actual like shutdowns. But even if that happens, like the goal of this is so that next year we can have gatherings again, and we can see our family on a normal basis, and we can hang out with our friends.
Yeah.
I saw a meme, and it was like, a Zoom Thanksgiving is better than an ICU Christmas. And I was like, there you
true
go.
story.
Oh God, that just gave me chills. Like actual
there you
chills.
fucking go.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It's so true though. It's just, And
I feel like initially people didn't really know people. Like you just heard about it in the news or whatever. But now I know people who have had it and gotten really sick. And I don't want that for anybody.
Yeah, that's what, that's what Carly and other friends and family have been talking about is, in the beginning of all this, when Kansas City like shut down and the rest of the country there was a lot of shutdowns and all this stuff. Like for a lot of us, it wasn't really here all that much yet.
Right.
It was kind of like coming from the coasts,
Right.
But now it is here and it is raging. And I mean, it's not like I didn't need it to be here to, because I have this thing called empathy. So, I mean, I didn't need it to be here to understand the importance of me wearing a mask and me staying home and things like that. But it is here. I mean, we know multiple people that have had it. And, in the beginning, I knew nobody that had it for quite a while.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, it's, it's funny because we started this podcast in January.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like right before
we were so young
stuff.
And innocent then.
It was a different time.
But
It was
even
a different time.
I know. But it's funny because when you listen to the very first, I don't know, 5 or 6 of these podcasts, because in the beginning we were releasing them every 2 weeks. So, a lot can happen in 2 weeks. And it's just funny because that first one where COVID comes up, it's like such an innocent time. It's like you don't even, us back then did not know what was coming. I had no, the idea that it would be the end of November, endish of November, and this would still be raging. It's just like,
right.
Oh,
Can't stop,
Well,
won't fucking stop.
Right. And my friends put it into perspective. So I still have a lot of friends who work at universities. And so at the U of M, my one friend stopped working at the U of M in March, University of Minnesota. And then she's gotten word that she won't go back until June. And our other friend who's in housing or in student affairs said, you will have been out of the office, physically out of the office for over a year. That, I mean, to put it in that perspective.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's so weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's like, it's the idea of being back in the office is so foreign to my brain at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But
nobody's ever going to want to go back to maybe people will.
No, fuck that. I don't want to go back to the office ever. Fuck
no, if I didn't,
I don't know. Those germs too.
I know. I call it the germ nest.
You don't know? People don't wash their hands.
I know. I had to go in the other day and I was like, okay, I'm going to stay for 2 hours and then I'm going to go home. And I was there for 6 hours. And I'm like, I'm in the germ nest forever. I never get to leave. That wasn't true.
Can you imagine? When do you think you'll be comfortable in a concert? I can't even time. I miss concerts. I desperately miss concerts.
Yeah.
But the idea of being in a room of all those people, I don't know when I'm going to be comfortable again.
All those people scream singing lyrics with particles of spit everywhere. No.
Yeah,
no.
I have thought about that, but I don't think it'll be it'll be a while. Yeah. And even with, this vaccine, everyone's like, oh, you're going to get a vaccine. Well, it doesn't mean it's going to immediately take effect. It doesn't mean it's going to help. We still have to do all these things.
Yeah. And we know all the rich people get it first.
Right.
Well, but also there's a lot of anti-vaxxers. So, and there's a large group, even people that believe in vaccines in general, there's a large, I don't have specifics or statistics, but there's a group of those people that also don't get the flu shot every year.
Right.
So if this is something that people have to get every year, the flu shot, it's still scary. I read a tweet the other day that this person, I can't remember who it was, but they said, why not pay people
Just
to
woke
get
up and it's
them-
like, okay, bye.
Oh, here's my ass.
well, you know. But it said pay people like $1,200 or $1,400, whatever it said, to get the vaccine. So then it gives them relief financially.
Yeah.
And it gives us relief that they got the damn vaccine.
Right.
So now, I mean, listen, I'm not like, I understand the concept of like this vaccine has happened pretty quickly and it is a little,
Right.
it's
That's
a little
scary
creepy.
too.
It is. So I'm not like,
scary.
Yeah, that freaks me out because usually stuff like that goes through years of like.
but at the same time, the flu shot is different every single year.
Yeah, but they've been working on it, and they
Right. But I'm just saying the information that they
Change.
do, it's changing every single year. So I mean, you know, I don't know.
Yeah,
We won't be the first ones to get it anyway.
I'm not a
I'm definitely
scientist.
not in the
No.
upper tier of people that would get
Well,
that.
also, I'm not going to volunteer as a guinea pig either. So I'll just wait. I'll watch other people, make sure they don't mutate into a zombie, and then when
Right,
it's my
that's the
turn,
thing.
I'll get it.
They're like, I've been seeing articles that say there's no known side effects. Well, for me, it's like, well, it's so soon. How do you know? How do you know?
Like, oh, it's been a week. Okay.
Right.
But I also read something the other day where somebody was like, okay, what's worse, side effects from a vaccine or side effects from COVID?
You mean
Right.
like dying?
Yeah.
Can't get a vaccine if you're dead.
That's the worst. No, but like all the other things people are talking about, like there's scary shit with this, you know?
Right.
And it's not, they're not always going away. And that's real freaky. And you don't know if you're going to, you know, people that are like, well, if you're young and healthy, I'm like, nope, that's not really necessarily
Right.
true.
That's
So-
been disproven.
Yep. We now
Repeatedly.
know that's not true. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Well, so we've kind of veered away from you growing up some, but what would you tell your teenage self if you can give your teenage self any advice?
You know, I think I didn't really have anyone building my confidence. And then and I also struggle in a few ways, you know. I struggle with reading comprehension. And then so sometimes that made that sweet little peanut of a dog. And then that made me feel stupid sometimes, you know. And as I was leaving my last job, I was like, I don't have any skills. Well, of course you have skills. I mean, you wouldn't have been employed for 20 years as an adult if you didn't have skills, you know, and really just being a little bit more confident that things are going to be fine. Your life, I feel like no matter what shitty things I've gone through, I've always, you know, have come out on the other end. And I'm not necessarily spiritual or religious, but I do think that I've been incredibly fortunate. And I do in some ways feel like somebody or something's looking out for me.
Yeah.
And it's okay. You know, I didn't have the best upbringing in terms of family life, and it gets better. You know, my relationship with my family got much better. And so I don't know that I ever saw that happening. And so just being patient, and patience is not, that's a struggle for me, but like just being patient. Yeah. Yep. Just being patient and being okay with, discomfort. I also probably would have said be kinder to myself and to others, because when I was unkind to myself, I wasn't kind to others at times too. And oftentimes I'm kinder to others than I am myself. So I think care in some ways, as I became a young adult, caring for myself the way I cared for others in my role, I think would have changed, you know, a lot of things as well.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah, it
We
is.
can all be kinder to ourselves.
And probably to others.
Yeah. But sometimes people make it really hard.
I know. When they wear
Yeah,
their
we've
mask,
already discussed that.
they got their dick out mask.
Yeah,
like,
their
get
nose
out.
penis, their face penis are hanging out.
Face penis.
Face penis is what I've been calling it. Put your face penis away.
Face
Oh,
penis.
God. How great would it be You just woman, man, whatever. Like if you just was like, put your fucking face dick away. Like how great would that be?
Like
I wanted
and point
to say
at him,
Yes.
flick it a
I
little.
think they'd probably just be so taken aback. Maybe they'd be like, well, pull it. Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's not okay.
They probably wouldn't. They'd probably just start cussing back at us, you know.
Probably.
I'm gonna test it out. I'll let you see what happens. I'll go test it out.
Okay.
Here's tribute. Okay, so you said that growing up was kind of rough, but do you have any woman influencers that have really helped shape your life? And it doesn't have to be from when you were young. It could be now. It could be whenever.
You know, as much as I struggled with my relationship with my mom, I think she came to the U.S. speaking little to no English. She helped, you know, she had to quit school in the 6th grade to help make money for her family. So she didn't get her childhood. And actually, my dad met her because she was working at a market, like selling tchotchkes or something. And he turned around, and she doesn't look, she kind of looks Latin more than Asian in some ways, or she did. Big eyes, tan skin. And that's how he thought she was Mexican when he saw her, which I think was funny. But I think she had to overcome a lot, and, you know, and she wasn't really fully literate, even up until the time that she passed. And so I think that, like,
she overcame a lot.
Yeah. And then she was sick. Like, she was sick on and off for 10 years, with multiple myeloma, which is a form of cancer. And so I think she overcame a lot. And I wasn't always appreciative of that. I wasn't always thoughtful or mindful of that.
Yeah.
I mean, but, you know, why would you be as a child?
Yeah.
You don't understand all that. Like, that's not, all you know is what is happening to you, because you don't understand the world. You don't understand adult situations.
Right.
You know, I mean, it sounds like she had a pretty shit childhood as well. And
she did.
And, you know, like you talk about in yourself, the reading comprehension and how that's at different times in your life has made you feel stupid, which is so sad. I hope you had teachers that encouraged you and weren't assholes, but, you know, that might've been a big thing for your mom too. Like, you know, but you would never know that as a kid.
Right. Yeah.
And maybe even as an adult. Like, I think when there are things that happen to you, I think for a lot of us, the feelings that we had as a child continue on into adulthood. Like, we have to really you have to really start to look at it like as an adult, because we still have those like childhood fears and anger and frustration and just like those lack of control feelings, you know, like that's hard.
And it's not something that you just get over, like, oh, I'm an adult now, I'm over all of that.
Yeah.
Nope. And not even a little.
I think it's always interesting where you see it come out and you're like, oh, I know what that's from. Or, you know what I mean? When you take a minute to reflect, oh, I know why I reacted that way now, but you don't know it in the moment. It doesn't. And so what was funny is, and I think I use humor a lot to deflect that, and kind of always have. Mm-hmm. And one time I was at my dad's house, and my mom had already passed, and my sister was there with her 2 girls, and she doesn't believe in spanking, which I think is great. And there was this news cast coming on, and it was talking about links to spanking and childhood trauma. And my dad was like, we spanked you guys and you were fine. I said, sure, talk to my therapist about it.
Exactly.
You know, like, there's all these, and that's how I used humor to deflect things, but it is, all of that stuff is always ingrained in you. And so no matter how much like you are an adult, you're still a child to somebody. And that's weird, but yeah.
Right. It's like, I mean, I'm fine, Dad. I'm fine.
I think it's amazing though that you still clearly care for your mother very much. Like
Yeah.
I think that that's pretty amazing because, some people live, and I'm sure there's still some resentment there or anger or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think some people, unfortunately, like, I'm not saying everybody should forgive. Like, I'm not somebody that's like, you should forgive everybody. And I'm not saying that, but it's nice that you can still like think of her in a positive way to a certain degree. Like, I think that's nice. And that's probably good to a certain degree for your mental health too, because, that's not, but yay therapy.
Right. Yeah. Therapy's good. I recommend it.
I do too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure it's
But
great. Sure, it's great.
I don't know that I've ever actually talked about me going to therapy on this podcast, but hey, I go to therapy. And, well, by go to therapy, I sit in my house and talk on the phone at the point. But, I think the biggest thing, we talk about, like, you still have like childhood feelings or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's almost like, it's almost entertaining to realize the shit that you're dealing with now, like where it comes from. Like you said, you're like, oh, well, I know where that comes from now. It's amazing. And it's like almost a feeling of validation. Like, okay, well, turns out that those feelings are real and I'm not an idiot for feeling that way, or, you know what I mean? It's
right.
Therapy is good. Everybody should do it.
Definitely. Definitely.
I want to go therapy. And by go, it also means sit in my house. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's dating been like in your life for you?
I don't. Which is terrible. Like, I really
terrible.
don't. I think about it sometimes. And sometimes I'm on apps and sometimes I'm not. But when I'm on them, I don't really invest.
Right.
And I don't know, because there's just this weird, like, I've always been single, never been married, and I think when it's time to try to do it, I just don't want to put the time and effort into it. And I think there's like several things. Like, there's always the fear of rejection, right? Then nobody wants to be rejected. Then there's this, like, do I want to invest energy into somebody that I, like, even one or two dates that is, like, not going to be worth it to me? Do I want to invest that time and energy? And then I think, like, I have a good, like, I was saying to my friends, I feel like, and there's a few of us who are single, like, we have good lives. We have great friends. We're active. We go out. We do things. And so I don't necessarily... At times I felt that there is some kind of a void, but I don't right now. I definitely don't feel that. Even with this whole quarantine thing, I have a job that I like. I'm active. I have a home that I like, all these things. I have friends that I love, my family that I love. Like, I don't right now feel a need for that. Does that mean that I don't ever want that? No, but I don't know when I will truly commit to, like, investing time in it.
Yeah, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I think the world is always pushing people.
No, pushing women.
Women.
That's true. Women. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but when you think about it, they push women to have children. But even men, I think a lot of people, like, even a man that's our age, they're like, well, what's wrong with him if he's not? You know what I mean? Like,
right. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you're single? Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you have a fulfilled life, then who gives a shit?
Right.
Right. But like you said, that's not to say that won't happen eventually.
Right.
But it doesn't need to happen.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. You have a great life, dude. You have 2 corgis that I'm in love with.
I know. They're so cute.
They're assholes. They're so
That is okay. Like, I just fucking love corgis.
They're little butts, and I'll
just drop them off to you too. You can handle it.
Yes, you can.
I'll say.
But to be fair, they're probably, it's like, can I just be their aunt? Because I already have 2 kids, and that would be a lot, maybe. So
totally. We have plenty of room for aunts and uncles and
Yes.
Oh
Good stuff.
shit!
Yeah.
Can you imagine like Jasper and Sebastian? Those are my dogs. They just love to play with other dogs. That's their like goal in dog life is just to play with
Jasper.
other dogs.
Can you imagine? Because so Jasper is that little nugget that was.
Yes.
That was
Yes,
sitting there.
that's my nugget. He's just an idiot.
Like your corgis would be closer to his size. Like he would be in heaven. He'd be like, oh my God, they're long and short like me.
Yeah, it would be super cute.
Yeah.
We'll have to do it.
We will.
Sometime.
When this, God,
I know.
damn,
I know.
But here's the thing. Here's what this is. I swear to Jesus, you guys. Like, okay, so I don't mind being home. Like that is not. But
yeah,
I love it so much.
I do too. Like I am not a super social person. I don't need it in my life. But God damn it, like I want to have like a huge get together, and not even necessarily at my house. I just want to get like everybody I know, and just like I don't know, drink and talk and bring our fucking dogs. Like I just
talk and have a dog party.
And not
have to worry about, I'm getting up and then putting her nap. You know, like
I gotta put my mask back on. You guys, I have a giant backyard. We could have like so many people in it.
So it needs to be warm, which is probably when this shit will even. Yes. I genuinely cannot. I just want to see everybody again,
right?
And not have to worry about. Like you said, like I'm so like I will wear a mask because God damn it, it's the right thing to do.
Right, it doesn't bother me.
It's the worry. I don't mind being home. It's the worry. Like if I go to very few stores, but if I have to go in, I hate it so much. And
I know I have to take some Ativan just to go to places.
Do you?
Yeah, I'm so anxious about it. My psychiatrist was like, you have to take this Ativan if you want to go somewhere. And I was like, okay. Because this was when work was trying to make me come in more often. And I was just like, and so he's like, here, have these drugs. And I was like,
thank you, sir.
Thank you. Sweet. Well, and I think that going back to work is going to be a hard sell because
we can do it
that are getting done while you're at home. Like, so what difference does it make if I'm at, and I know that there are some places you have to be in the office, but that's going to be a hard sell for people to go back into an office. Yeah. Yep. But stay away from Target because I just went last week. So I made this little decorative tray for the back of my toilet that puts like a little flower or whatever. And I just needed a square tissue box, just one. I have plenty of tissues, but the long one won't fit on it. I just went to get that. And this was last week and everything was wiped out in the toilet paper. I did get my one box of Kleenex, but all the toilet paper was gone. All the paper towels were gone. And I was like, we're not doing this again, are we? We aren't doing this.
Yeah, we are.
Like, people, don't panic. It's going to be fine. Don't wipe out the shelves for people who need it, and.
Hi, I need toilet paper right now. And there's none to be found.
Right. So
this is a far less important question, but did I just see you have a corgi Christmas pillow in your lap?
Oh
my God.
This stupid
pillow has antlers. Everybody, you have to go on YouTube because this puppy pillow has antlers. Oh my God.
So I'm in a group called Corgi Things Spotted. I'm not kidding you. Where people
is it like dog spotting, but it's corgis?
No, it's corgi stuff. And so people will post where they found different corgi shit, like mugs and they'll say spotted at Marshall, spotted at, or I bought X amount of these. Do you want one? Here's how much it costs. I'll ship it to you. So I was looking everywhere for this pillow last year. I went to 10 different Home Goods / Marshalls looking for it. Nowhere to be found. My friend came into town probably about 2 months ago before everything got real bad. 2 or 3 months ago. And we were over at Ward Parkway and she lives in Manhattan. She's like, can we go to Home Goods? I was like, sure. I might as well look for this pillow. And they finally had it. And then Archie, the little one, has been taking, like, I got this pillow at Joanne. It looked much nicer last week when I brought it in. But Archie has been like taking it and like grabbing it and throwing it around. Now, I said, if you mess up this pillow, the back gate's going to get accidentally left open. Because he's chewed up a couple pillows, but he did get a few threads of this that I was able to trim up and recover. But that back gate is going to get left open if he keeps chewing on my corgi pillows.
Right. That is so cute. And
Yeah, that's really cute.
I'm dying about it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I know, like, that's really not much of a podcast question, but it was really cute. So
Yeah. Corgi things spotted. And so that's also how I had corgi face masks made. Is this woman's like, I have all this material, pick your mask. It's like $10 a mask, including shipping. And so I have 6 corgi masks. But I mean, I'm just supporting this woman's business.
Heck yeah.
Good
You
for
gotta
you.
support the small businesses.
Yeah.
That's right. All right. I'm
love
going to
it.
ask you a question, and I think I know the answer, and I don't know why I'm asking. Are you an introvert or an extrovert?
I say I'm an extroverted introvert. Because I do love people. And when I was younger, I people around all the time. And now, as I've gotten older, I do also value my alone time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do feel like I need that to recharge. My friends are always wanting to do stuff like bike rides, which I love. You know, they've kept me very active. And so it's hard to say no, but there are some weeks that I've been like, dude, I just need a nap on a weekend. Like, I just need time to watch TV to recharge, or just time to like relax. And so I think the last few weeks have been really, really good. But this summer we were at the lake, like we work out, go to the lake, work out the next day, go to the lake, you know, and which is fun. But I was feeling exhausted all the time. So actually this has been really good the last few weeks to kind of slow things down.
Yeah. I just want to touch on this really quick because I know you've talked about your former career a lot, but what do you do now?
Sure. I'm a project manager. And so I had been hired by a company to do a new project for apprenticeships with the state of Missouri. Last year, we had been subcontracted, and that project kind of just fell through. So now my focus has been training customer service representatives in different states to take calls on unemployment insurance benefits. So basically, with everything happening, all of this unemployment insurance stuff is like blown up, right?
Right.
Because when they hire their staff, they are staffed for what they expect unemployment will be, you know, an average rate. Well, then when Corona hit and then all of these different packages came out, so not just regular unemployment, but pandemic unemployment compensation, states have fallen behind. And so states subcontract my company that I work for to facilitate call centers, to facilitate investigation on cases. And so I've been training people in different states to take calls and help claimants figure out what's going on their file and hopefully resolve any of those issues so that they can get paid.
Well, that's like very needed right now.
Yeah.
Holy moly. I mean, it's always important, but right now I think there's so much panic. There's just so much panic. It's so sad. Like, it's nice that there are people out there like you that are training people to answer some of these questions that are freaking people out.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think the representatives, sometimes they've come from other call center backgrounds, like credit card or Verizon, you know, like different phone companies, all that kind of stuff, customer service. And I try to emphasize to them how important they are,
Yeah.
to these people who are calling in because they may be the first person that they've talked to. I mean, I'm hearing calls that people are like, I'm getting evicted. I can't pay, my rent's coming. I'm going to get my car taken away. All these things that I feel like all of us, and I said to them, I said, you need to, one, suspend judgment because we don't know anybody's situation, whether it's before Corona or not. And two, this could be any of us at any point in time. And some of them who have been in the training class have just are still waiting for their employment from them.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And so just to understand, we could all be in that situation at any point in time.
100%.
Yeah, your job is not to judge. Your job is to answer questions and help resolve what you can. And if you can't resolve it, escalate their case so we can make sure that we can get them the help that they need as soon as possible. It's not as fast as we would like in terms of response time, but it's just where we're at right now across the nation, unfortunately.
So you told me the other day that you work on Hawaii time right now.
Yeah.
So like, will you go to another state of it? Like, are you just working state by state or?
So as we win contracts, we'll go state to state. And so wherever, and so basically what my role has been with the last few projects is to just come in and do training, get, work with the project operations people to see what they need and train groups of people and get them on the phones and get them answering emails to help those states get through as many cases as quickly as possible.
Dude.
Have you gained any Hawaiian friends that you get to go hang out with eventually?
Yeah. And can you take us?
I volunteered to go to Hawaii.
Oh,
many
fuck
of us did on the project. None of us are in Hawaii.
Well, son of a
damn
bitch.
Yeah.
Although the idea of flying on a plane right now completely freaks me out.
Right.
No.
Yeah. But I know people are doing it.
I know. The idea, even coast to coast or like here to New York or wherever, like the idea of that freaks me out. But the idea of like an 8-hour plane ride, I'm like, oh no, because planes kind of freak me out in general. Even the recycled air and all that shit, like it kind of creeps me out anyway. But right now, I have no desire to right now. But no, that's amazing. I'm glad that somebody, but I'm not just glad that there's somebody doing it. I'm glad that there's somebody like you that is helping train.
Right.
Because you're a nice human being that cares about people.
Right.
No, I'm serious. Like,
yeah.
It's a lot. I mean, I'm very privileged right now. I'm always privileged. I'm a white chick, but I have been able to work from home, and my husband doesn't work from home, but he's never not had his job during this. And so there's a huge population of people in this country, and I'm sure worldwide, but that are desperate and terrified of what is happening right now. So it's like, I'm glad that there's somebody like you that is a caring person that's training people,
Yes.
It's been good. It's been, and my mentor had actually said, how does that make you feel? And I hadn't thought about it. And when I processed it, I actually said, let me flip the power on. I thought I was charging my phone, but I have to flip the switch over in the back. But I have the opportunity to help to train people who are going to make a really big difference. And that for me has felt really good, even though when the hours get long and are super exhausting. And I try to think of as much as possible, like the impact that this is going to have for the people who are trying to get their money, and for the people who are working, who may have been coming off of unemployment. This is their first job off of unemployment, and to give them confidence and competence to be able to regain momentum and get themselves where they need to be.
I just really like you.
I like you too.
You guys do.
Yeah.
I do.
I love it when people like me.
I'm not sure that we've had a guest that I didn't. I feel like I say that every time. I mean, we have picked some really fucking good human beings for this podcast.
We're so good
Because
at
every
this.
time we're so good at
We're
this.
so
You
good at
asked
this.
me, I was like, what the hell am I going to even talk to you guys about?
Everything.
Everybody
Yeah.
thinks that.
Everything. Ooh, I
mean,
have one.
Do it.
Do it. Hey, are you good at taking compliments?
My favorite.
You're not?
I don't like
She's
it.
like, no.
Yeah.
Ooh, hey, I'm going to need you to give yourself a compliment right now.
Oh, shit.
Oh. I do think I'm quick-witted, and I think
I think so too. It's sometimes you just have to be funny.
yeah, I do use that. I'm not always at appropriate times, but
yeah. Yeah, that's me too.
But that is actually, I think that's a really important skill because there's being quick on your feet is like one. I mean, it's just an important skill in general. But like, if you can be a smart ass, I will love you forever.
okay. I'm in then. I'm in.
Yeah,
We're in.
That's a big deal for me. I mean, one, I have a very filthy mouth.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's true.
Two, my language is sarcasm.
Yep.
So, and just being sarcastic in general, like, so if I can find people that are also that way, then or at least accept me being that way.
Right.
Then it makes me happy. So
yeah, I don't understand people that like aren't funny. What's wrong with you?
It's like, are you sad all the time?
Be like, do you just like walk around in perpetual like moodiness?
It makes me sad.
I'm like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
No, I actually kind of feel that way. Like, I don't understand. And I honestly haven't come across a lot of people that way, that are that way. But I'm the same. I'm like, if you can't laugh at things, then seriously, do you just like
scowl?
Right.
Is that your?
And I mean, I'm a resting bitchy face, so I scowl, but
you're
like,
funny.
I laugh.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Ooh, do the wheel.
Okay, so I found this book that I've had for a long time that I forgot about. So I found a question that I'm going to put on the wheel.
Okay.
Now I will say this question has been a question that I've actually thought about a lot because we've had Trump for president. So it has actually like crossed my mind more than one time in the last 4 years. But if you knew there would be a nuclear war in 1 week, what would you do?
Everyone. Wait, sorry.
Listen.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, and I think, with all of this, I moved back to Kansas City, right? And part of that was with the intention also to be able to spend more time with my family. And as much as we love each other, we also drive each other nuts.
Yes.
I would make sure that I would spend time with my family and tell everyone who's important in my life. We don't, because just how important they are.
Right.
And just make it be known. Like, even if we connect every day, like I have Marco Polo, that app where you leave video messages, for people. And I have my 2 friends in Minnesota that I connect with every single day, multiple times a day. And I have my friend in Manhattan that I connect with. And then my friends that I text multiple times a day, every day. Just to let it be known. Like, I know that they know. And
it's nice to hear
people know, but to hear it. Yeah. What about you all?
I already answered.
Yeah, everyone.
Yes, I do everyone.
I mean, I
No.
feel like if I'm being really honest, I feel like I'd try a lot of drugs that I've never tried before.
Or some that you already have tried before.
Right. No, I mean, it's not like, okay. It's not, I mean, drugs are scary. Like, I don't do drugs. Like, well, I mean, I haven't in a long while. But I mean, like, I don't know. But here's my other fear. This is where my brain goes. Are you ready? Like, I would have to know for sure that a new, like,
die.
Yes, because this is where my brain goes. Like, say I tried meth. What if it didn't come and then all of a sudden I was like addicted to meth? Like, who wants that life? I don't.
I know.
I know.
But see, that is what my brain does to me, you guys.
Yeah, but it makes you think of the different potential scenarios.
Yes. Like, I always am going, like, and I can never just like purely enjoy even a scenario. I'm just always like, what if it didn't happen and then I'm
kill you? Damn it.
I don't know, maybe I don't know. I'm with you though. I think I would definitely, like, I'd have a big ass party and hug everybody. Right. Even during COVID.
Right.
Yeah. I'd be hugging everybody. I'd be,
because it doesn't matter.
Right.
Isn't it weird that that's what is coming in? Like, isn't it weird that I'm like, even with COVID, I'd hug people, and that's what I want to do. Like,
right.
That's sad that that's what we're having to deal with right now. Right. It's like, go ahead, Carly. What would you do?
No, I'd hug everyone too and tell them I love them. And I would go try new and fun things. I don't even. It would just be like.
I'd skydive. I would skydive. I would skydive.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would do that still.
Oh, I think I would. I think I would.
So scary.
Yeah, but if you die, who cares? You're going to die anyway.
Right. It's going to happen anyway. Like, if you just, because I feel like it would take that fear of death away. So then I would just do all those things that, oh yeah, definitely. That makes me excited. Like, I'm excited for a nuclear war.
Come on.
You're ready. You're so ready.
You're so ready.
Okay, not really though. Yeah. Okay. I would never, like, that would be good though. That is what I would do. Definitely.
I have a question that I don't remember if we added it to the wheel, but we talked about adding it to the wheel. Do you believe in aliens?
Not aliens. I do believe in potential, like, ghosts, things like that, but I don't know that I ever believed in aliens. Now, if you watch that movie, what's that one? Oh, M. Night Shyamalan.
Signs?
Oh, that was scary, and I don't like scary movies. It creep me out. But I don't believe in aliens. Do you guys?
Yeah.
Aliens and ghosts are similar to in my brain in that I don't know that I like 100% believe in either of them, but I don't not believe in them either. I believe that there's a possibility for both.
Sure.
I think
the universe is really big. The idea that Earth, the idea that Earth beings are the only beings in the world or in the universe,
right? That would be kind of dumb,
right? So, here's what I think.
Are you questioning yourself now?
Well, no, yeah. I mean, for us, yeah, we'll talk.
To believe,
come back.
Yeah, like, I think they're out there. Do I think they've been to Earth? No, but is it possible they could? Maybe. It's so big. How would they ever find us?
That's true.
Well, do I hope that they aren't like Independence Day where they want to kill us all? Yes, right. I hope that. Would I understand if they wanted to kill a large group of people?
Yes,
I do. Yeah.
Yes. There's Arch.
Hi, Archie.
Oh, hello, baby.
He is the worst, but he's so cute.
Oh my God, look at him.
There's Walter.
Walter's a good boy.
Yep.
Me
the
too.
Barker. He's the Barker.
He's baby.
God, they're just so damn cute. I just love them.
Do you want to do one more question?
Sure.
I don't know where your wheel is.
Yeah, it's on here somewhere. Just give me a sec. Oh, hey, look, it came up really quick.
You guys.
Okay. Your favorite book, show, and podcast.
I
My
love
favorite
this.
what?
Book, show, podcast.
Okay. So I'm not much of a reader, but in grad school, these dogs. In grad school, I read a book called Inner Compass, and it talks about defining the people who are around you and how they impact you, and really about what you put out to others, not like about the universe or anything but how you have an impact on others, whether good or bad. These two, you guys, hey, I'm talking.
I'm speaking. I'm talking.
And then show, I'm a non-committer when it comes to shows. I will get through like 6 seasons, and if there's 7 seasons of something, I won't watch the 7th season. I just like quit on a show. So,
dude, if I'm through 6 seasons, I'm the one that will commit to it all the way, because I'm like, I've given all this fucking time. Like, why am I going to quit now? Even if I'm like not super into it, I'm like, I've given all this time. Yeah.
So, show. Oh, well then Schitt's Creek. Okay. Because whose show is like, because I just think I was talking with my friends, and my friends who are
you, David,
queer. Yeah. Who are queer in particular, and about how there was no drama around David and him, being queer and his relation. It was just normal because it's normal. Like, and I know, I love that has brought that to the forefront of so many people who would deem it as not normal, or think of it as not normal, and it's brought it into their lives in a different way. And so I really value that, like stuff like that, because these dogs, I swear. This is what I do all the time.
What's really funny about Schitt's Creek though is like, so I finished all of it, and then they had that like documentary at the end where they kind of did like a round table, and I cried a lot and all that.
I cried a lot. Yep.
But what was so funny is that, because I don't like, it's what you said, it's normal. That's not an abnormal thing in this world. And so in my mind, like I was watching that, and without even realizing, it was so like, it was such a relief and so pleasant to me that it was never even discussed. Or I mean, there were things that they said. There were little like Easter eggs of things that were beautiful, but it wasn't like openly discussed, and it was never negative, and it was never and like it didn't even occur to me until they started talking about it in that roundtable thing. And then I was like, well, Jesus Christ, that's why it was so it was so pleasant. It was so it was just such a relief to watch a show that just felt normal to me.
Yeah.
Right.
And
I love that too.
And those characters, like, just beyond, just
it's so good.
Every single one of them developed, and every single one so funny and quirky in their own way.
Yes.
So, such a good show. And every time I say the word baby, I said to my friend who has a baby, I can only say like, baby.
Just think of the baby.
Yeah.
I say it all the time too now, and I'm just like, oh God, I can't stop. Yeah. And I'm not gonna.
It's so good.
It's so good. And then movie, you know what? Like with the holidays coming up. This dog. Sorry.
It's fine. We have podcast dogs. It's fine.
Right. And so with the holidays coming up, I really love The Family Stone, which is
just watch that.
Yes.
And I think it makes me think of my mom a lot, but I it's just so funny. And again, another quirky, like everybody's quirky and different, and it just it comforts me in a weird way. I don't know what I would like, because and I know it's because it's the holidays. I always think of that movie. But I mean, other movies, I'm such a basic B, but The Greatest Showman, because that just brought back like musical theater, like a big musical theater. I mean, I kind of love everything, and I just really love documentaries too. So, I mean, yeah. So kind of a lot of things. I mean, I struggle when people are like, who's your favorite artist or who's your favorite this? Yeah.
I'm the same way. It's hard to figure out everything that's like, I have shows or whatever, everything that like immediately comes to my mind, but it's always hard to pick out your favorite.
Oh, you said podcasts. I don't know. I mean, of course, my favorite murderer, but then I've been listening to Dr. Oh, did you listen to Dr. Death? But then there was the LDS one that was just on Clear Creek. Unfinished.
I don't know that one.
Unfinished. I think Unfinished Clear Creek, I think is what it's called. It's about the LDS church. So I can send that one to you. It was just a fascinating document.
Unfinished Short Creek?
Short Creek. Very, very good. Yeah, it's a very good one.
I'm special. I just got it on here. Cool. I love new. I'm in a funk right now. Like I can't.
Yeah, everything's awful.
It is. I cannot. Like for the last 2 years, I go through this where I'll find. I am in desperate need of a really good, like I want an episode, a true crime that has, I don't know, multiple episodes. This might be good. I don't know how much crime it is, but yeah, I'm in a funk.
Yeah, Dr. Death was really good too.
That was creepy as fuck.
Did you listen to the second? There's a second season now, though. Have you heard that one yet?
No, not yet.
I don't like it.
No, the first season, it's scary. It's scary because that stuff can happen to you in real life.
Right. And I was just like, no, I don't like it.
Right.
No, and it's, that one is, I haven't listened to the second season yet, but, when you start messing with the brain, not a lot going back from that.
Right. Right.
That's what I tell my children when they like to do dangerous things without a helmet. I'm like, hey, you only have one brain. You only have one brain.
Can't fix it either.
No,
it can't be fixed.
It's kind of, you got to take care of the brain.
At least cover your head and break your arms. It's fine.
Yes, I recommend that. I broke both my arms at the same time. I would much rather have that than
brain damage.
But I also yell at them right now. I'm like, it's times of the COVID. I don't want to take you to the hospital.
Right. This is not the time to go to the hospital.
Listen,
I mean, these are things that come out of my husband and I's mouth multiple times in the last 8 months.
We're just going to patch it up at home. And then maybe next year you can go to the doctor.
Sure, your arm will be all crooked and wonky, but you'll live through it. You'll have something to tell your therapist.
Right.
Yes, exactly. All right. Well, this has been wonderful.
It's been great. So, thank you for
talking
to us.
Very much.
And
me.
We want to, we're gonna look up the actual, but it's CASA.org.
Yeah.
The one in Riley County was sunflowercasa.org.
Yeah.
So we'll find the Kansas City chapter and we'll put that in the notes.
Awesome.
I'm so happy you came to talk to us.
This was fun. Thank you. I appreciate your time. It was super fun.
So here's to ladies.
Yes.
Let's start listening to what they have to say.
All right.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.